Hey everyone, what's up? Welcome back to part 2 of this tutorial on pre-flighting the 737. In today's video we'll be going over procedures to program the FMC. Stay tuned. Alright, so here we go. Our FMC has just informed us we need to enter our IRS information. So first we're going to go over our nav data. Essentially, just go on index ident, we'll get you to this page. See our model is there, engine rating, the current AirX cycle. We can see that it has expired almost a year ago now. I need to update that. And the OB program information. Alright, going on to our position and initialization page. Our reference airport today is going to be Philadelphia, so Kilo Papa Hotel Lima. Enter that into the second line select key on the left side. And we can see our position here, which matches up pretty closely to the last position. On the PMDG 737, I believe you can enter gate and get that more exact. Anyway, so we're going to hit next page, and we're going to select GPS left here. I'm going to go back to the previous page and enter that into our IRS position. And our IRSs, during the break between the two videos, you can see they have aligned and our data has come up here. So we're going to move on to the route. Alright, so for today's flight we are going to be doing a short flight from Philadelphia over to Chicago O'Hare. Well, at least we'll be setting up as if we were going to do that flight. The flight itself would not be that long, actually only about 2 hours approximately in airtime. Anyway, so moving over to the route page here, we see that the aircraft has nicely assumed that we are departing from Philadelphia, so we have told it that we are at Philadelphia, so I believe it's a pretty reasonable assumption. We'll enter that into the origin here. And our destination being Chicago O'Hare, so the identifier is Kilo Oscar Romeo Delta, and we'll enter that into the destination box. So if you had a company route, you could have entered that into this page or into this line right here, and that would pull that up all for you. But I do not have that today, and we're going to be showing you how to do that from how to design or how to enter the route from scratch. So moving on, we're going to hit next page, and this is where we actually get to enter our route details. Our route today, I'll put it up on the screen here. It's going to be Papa Tango Whiskey. I'll center that into the 2. And then we're going to fly direct to Sara, so it's Sierra Alpha Romeo, Alpha Alpha. Alright, from there we'll be going direct to Romeo Alpha Victor. Okay, and here's a great example. This is going to pop up on your screen if there's more than one waypoint by that name, or if you are by that name in our case. For our purposes today, the VOR we are going to want is this one right here. Coordinates 40 degrees north, 76 degrees west. We're just going to click right there, and that'll select that one for us. Alright, so the next is an airway, Quebec 62 over to Watson, I believe. So to enter an airway, what you do is you would type up the airway, Quebec 62, and we would enter it into the VIA line. So this line right here. Click right there and you'll see a box pop up. So into the box you'd pop up the last point on that airway that you are flying to. In our case, that's Watson. So Whiskey Alpha Tango Sierra November. Alright, we're going to enter that right there. And that's it. That's our route today. It is fairly short, so we're going to go ahead and activate it. Before we execute it, we're just going to go over to our legs page really quick and verify that this is the correct route and we don't have any super long legs that are obviously incorrect. We can see Papa Tango Whiskey to Sarah to Romeo Alpha Victor, and then these are the various waypoints along Quebec 6-2. As you can see, the legs page shows them all, does not abbreviate them. It all looks good, ends up at Watson. We're going to go ahead and execute that. We're going to go back to the route page by clicking there, and we're going to head over to the perf init page. Here we have our gross weight, zero fuel weight reserves. We get to enter all that good stuff into here. Okay, sorry about that. So I just have to check our gross rate real quick, and that number is 153.3. And I also had to adjust our fuel really quick because that was not correct for our route. Close that out. Okay, we're going to enter 153 into the gross weight page, and then it'll automatically fill out our zero fuel weight. We could have done it the other way too and entered our zero fuel weight instead. I just chose to do it this way this time. So one thing on the 737, as you can see here, there's a whole bunch of dashes and boxes. So for the 737 to calculate it properly, you have to fill out all the boxes if you want to calculate VNAV path correctly. But the dashes are just to help improve accuracy. Alright, anyway, so our fuel here, we are going to see our minimum takeoff fuel is going to be 18,342 pounds. Currently on board we have 19,300 pounds, approximately. And our reserves for today's flight is going to be approximately 6.4, so that's the final reserves on line on our flight plan plus the alternate. 6.3. Alright, we're going to enter that into the reserves page. And our cost index is dependent on airlines. That'll determine how fast we end up flying, our rate of descent, our rate of climb, all that good stuff. I believe United actually uses a cost index of 13 on their 737, so we are going to enter that into our flight plan. Okay, moving on. Cruise altitudes, obviously, that's our cruise altitude for today's flight. We'll initially be cruising at 360. Well, actually, we'll be cruising at 360 for the entire flight. We have no step climbs today. So enter 360. You could also enter flight level, so FL 360. So you could enter this. Or you could enter 3,000 or 36,000. But if you want to keep it simple, you can just enter 360 and it'll automatically adjust to flight level 360. Okay, so in our flight plan we can actually find what our cruise winds are going to be. I believe that initially here you enter your top of climb cruise winds, and when you get up to top of climb you would enter your average cruise winds. So today our cruise winds today at top of climb are going to be 235 at 52 knots. So fairly strong winds. Not too bad though. Again, as I mentioned, these are just optional, but I choose to enter those as they're going to give me more accurate numbers as to calculating top of climb and all that. And our outside air temperature is minus 45, so we're going to hit this plus minus key. That'll give us minus 45. Enter that into outside air temperature, and that'll give us our ISO deviation of 11 degrees Celsius. Our transition altitude is correct. Here in the US, it's 18,000. If you're flying elsewhere in the world where it is different, you could enter that value into there. So we were going to go ahead and execute that. Normally, both pilots would be verifying this, and you would not execute it until both pilots confirm that all this data is correct. I'm going to leave our planned fuel blank, as there's not much need to really add that in. Okay, heading over to our N1 limit page. For today's flight, I did some calculations, and it is going to be a side or thrust duration 40 degrees. Enter that there. That'll give us a reduced thrust of 93.5% and 1. Going to take off. We're going to use flaps 5 for today's takeoff. And our CG today is going to be 23.8 degrees. Oh, sorry. 23.8. Let's try that. There we go. And nice thing about the 737, it automatically trims for you as well. So we now have our V1 values. Before I confirm that, we're going to go ahead and program our departure and arrival. So hit departure. So today we will be flying the Philadelphia 2 SID, as that is the only SID out of Philadelphia. And I believe we are going to be using, let me check what runway we're going to be using here real quick. Alright, we're going to be using runway 27 left. So we're going to execute that, go over to our route, sorry, legs. And as you can see, there is a route discontinuity. To get rid of that, we can just select Papa Tango Whiskey, upload it into the scratch pad, and we can enter it into there. Alright, so hit execute, that should be gone. We're going to head back to our departure arrival page. We're going to select our arrival into Chicago, as it's a relatively short flight and will reduce workload for us later on. And our SID is, star is going to be the Watson 3. And the transition, we're going to leave that one blank for now. Actually, let me just check real quick. Yeah, we're going to leave that one blank for now. And we'll select our runway as we get closer to our destination. If we head over to our legs page one more time, we should see no discontinuities, and as you can see, the star continues on from Watson there. Okay, so we're going to go back to our takeoff page. You could also access that by hitting index takeoff. And we are going to program our V speeds incorrectly. So V1 is going to be 142, VR 145, V2 157. And we can confirm that on the ND here. Pull that up there, you can see V1 142 is shown. Double check, yep, 142 as we can see down here. Alright, well that concludes this tutorial. Next time we'll be looking at pushback and startup procedures. Well, thank you guys for joining me. I'll see you guys next time.